low. Martin and I are happy to welcome you once again to the Chocolate Academy. Today we're going to discover 3 major uses of colored cocoa butter. We'll be using a mini sweet mold. We're going to use an alcohol, which is a mix of alcohol and some creative gold powder to give an interesting effect to our sweets. We're going to use warm red cocoa butter and we'll spray the bottom of the molds. Exactly. And we're going to dye the white satin chocolate with yellow cocoa butter to create a stippling effect on our bars to make them more original. We have the white chocolate, which is crystallized at 28 degrees, in which we're going to add some yellow-colored cocoa butter. The cocoa butter is at 35 degrees, no more. We have the white chocolate bar mold, in which I'm going to put some of the white satin chocolate. Once the cocoa butter mixture has dyed the white satin chocolate, as soon as you reach 28 degrees, you can do all the decorations that you wish inside the polycarbonate mold. So we have the berry glace around 45 degrees, and we're going to pour it to make tablets. (26–27 degrees, perfect. So now we reheat it to 30 degrees maximum. We're going to use the aid of the heat gun. We have a very liquid mixture. It's at about 31 degrees, and we're going to be able to spray it into the molds. We've kept the gun hot to avoid the crystallization of the berry glace inside. Of course, we could be using a spraying cabin. We should leave it to crystallize. We're going to see the application of the heated colored cocoa butter. We're going to put a small layer in a polycarbonate fish bubble mold. I spray from one side. I hold the mold from the other side. I repeat this 4 times so that we obtain something like this. Very consistent, a very good color. Here we have the colored cocoa butter that we left crystallize. And now a very important stage, which consists of scraping the excess cocoa butter that is left on the top of the mold. Of course, an advantage, whether it's berry glace or colored cocoa butter, you can reuse the leftover pieces of chocolate, no problem. You simply melt it again, and then you reuse it in a mold or in something else. Let's see the third solution, an application using alcohol and creative powder. We're going to use 10% creative powder in the alcohol. The alcohol is at 60%. The alcohol is going to evaporate, and only the sparkling powder will be left in the bottom of the mold. There you have it, 2 parts. Therefore, we're going to fill the mold. We have 2 layers that are crystallized. Extra bitter guayaki chocolate with 64% cocoa, which is at 31 degrees, and then the white satin chocolate at 28 degrees. So Philippe has filled the fish bubble molds with the white satin chocolate. There we go, like that. We tap once on this side to empty the other side, and then we tap a second time to have a good even thickness. On a sheet of paper, we redo a little bit, which will allow us to finish the mold correctly. I'm going to finish the 100-gram tablets with the help of a piping bag. Essentially, what is important in all the thicker molds is to make sure that you put them in the fridge for around 10 minutes to achieve the perfect crystallization. So we're going to fill our molds, like this one, and we're going to tap the mini sweet molds because there's obviously some relief, so we're trying to avoid air bubbles. We make sure the molds are hollow. So we'll cool the molds 10 to 15 minutes depending on thickness, and then we can unmold them. Martin and I will now show you some other techniques, especially with the powder, golden creative, and the colored cocoa butter. The creative powder is mixed directly with the cocoa butter. I'm using warm Micrio cocoa butter. I'm incorporating in my shimmering golden creative powder. We need to mix it correctly. I'm using colored cocoa butter, the berry red cocoa, and I'll shake it up. It's warmed to about 40 degrees Celsius. Next, I'm going to apply it directly to the surface, to the dipping paper, which is on the surface. I'll apply my shimmering powder like this. The objective, whether it's Martin or me, is to crystallize the cocoa butter. You can see that it's drying slowly. We can see that it has become matte. We stop now. We let the butter harden, which is called the crystallization phase. If you want to personalize your decoration some more, at this stage we can decorate like this. Now the second stage, the application of the powder. We're going to use a sponge. I work against the grain, which will really allow the powder to enter the cocoa butter. I go across the entire piece of dipping paper. Now we're going to apply the chocolate. I'm going to spread it out evenly along the whole length of the surface. Now we are going to gently shake the surface so that it spreads out evenly. The cover has crystallized. Now let's cut it. There we have the end product that Martin and I created. Now we'll show you how to put together a chocolate base and a glaze with the help of cocoa butter. This board has been made out of chocolate, and Philippe is now going to show us how to give it a mahogany patine. There. We're slowly coating with a paintbrush with the black cocoa butter, then we're going to apply this directly to the chocolate. You can see it's crystallizing, and next we'll add the red cocoa butter. The cocoa butters have to be heated because that allows them to crystallize. Now we're going to make it a little shiny. We'll do it with the heat of the hand. With gloves on, our hands are about 35 degrees. We already see an interesting effect. Now we're going to move on to the patine, the glaze. We use very cold water to accelerate the cooling process. This is going to allow us, with the cocoa butter and the sugar that is in the chocolate, to begin the crystallization. Now we'll let the surface dry, and we'll take our paintbrush. We'll finish the glaze and take away the water that remains on the surface. With Martin, we've put together the end products with the three major applications that we've seen with colored cocoa butter. We have the chocolate drops, drops made with the help of colored cocoa butter and creative powder. We have the 100-gram bars with the yellow dots that were put in first, and the extra bitter Guayaquil chocolate. Our fish bubble molds here They've really taken shape. And of course the sweets, which are just here, on which we simply sprayed some creative powder with a little bit of alcohol so that it stays at the bottom of the mold. They're all placed on the support, which has been patined with the help of black cocoa butter and red cocoa butter to give us this mahogany effect. I want to thank you for your applications that we've seen, and now let's go to the chef's profile. Philippe, I have a question for you from Arnaud Loret. Is there a great sportsman that you admire? Zinedine Zidane, for everything he represents, his sense of devotion to France, and his devotion to the French team. And a second question. Can you tell us about an important anecdote? An anecdote in my profession. Well, I think of Piccadilly in England. Right in the center, there was a big reception, 200 people. I was supposed to present a Christmas-themed piece, so I prepared this piece in about 2 days, a very beautiful chocolate piece with a big snowman in the middle. And then 10 minutes before the presentation, it collapsed. I was panicked. I was 26, I was panicked. I went to see the organizer of the event and asked him, please lower the lights when I have to pass through. So it allowed me to pass through discreetly. Next, I had added some sparklers to give it a birthday cake effect with sparklers. And I passed through very quickly to avoid people seeing my piece. Yet they all applauded. And then I realized it isn't just the profession, it's also the notion of a show. It was one of the biggest moments. I have a question from Emmanuel Rion, who would like to know if you still have a project or a dream. A project, a dream, that's what most people live for, I think. It's true that I had the chance to work at the heart of a group that makes chocolate. And I won the award for Best Chocolatier in France. I'm very connected to what I do. And it's been a few years that I've been doing it. My projects are to continue to find innovating products. And with Philippe Marron, we've created a new product that's called Micreo Butter. It's true, my project is to create a way in which to tackle chocolate, and I'm sure that with this group, with Barry, I will achieve that. So, from my point of view, of course, it's to create some new products, a range of sweets, things like that, and then why not create a range of products in which I can really feel connected, invested personally.